what is up guys, welcome back to Life on the Wrist. Hope you guys are doing well today. We are going to be discussing obviously my favorite brand, and that is MB&F, and we're going to be talking about another one of their pieces. We're going to be looking at the HMX today, which was a watch that was released for the 10th anniversary of MB&F. So we're going to give you the details about this watch, give you my opinions at the end of this video, to make sure you guys are well aware of all the amazing work that's coming out of MB&F. But before we get into that, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button for us for this absolutely beautiful piece from MB&F. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new here. Just a disclaimer, right at the beginning of this video, I do not have the HMX in my possession. I'm purely going to be giving you some of the high-level details about it and my thoughts about the overall design. So if you are looking for a video where they have this watch in their hands and are able to show it to you, this is probably not the video for you, but I will be sure to put a lot of pictures as well as some videos about this with this watch throughout my commentary, so it's not just going to be me talking to the camera. So like I said, the HMX was released in 2015 to celebrate the 10th anniversary of MB&F, and this watch its overall design is very similar to, I think it is the HM5. Let me make sure I'm getting that right here. Yes, the HM5, where it's inspired by, its inspiration is around a driving watch, and so MB&F released this watch to kind of commemorate the 10 years of their brand, but also to give credit to those who make up the name MB&F, which stands for Max Bruiser and Friends. One of the things that I really loved about MB&F when I first got into them was the fact that they really do focus on giving credit to some of the phenomenal people that they worked with, who do absolutely incredible things with the creations that they end up making. So to go into the details about this watch, the case of this watch, you can get it. This watch is in titanium and stainless steel, and then they have different detailing for the different colors that they are able to produce for this watch. So there's a black version, a green version, a blue version, and a red version. Moving on to the movement itself, you actually have this three-dimensional movement that has a jumping hours and trailing minutes module that was developed in-house by MB&F. The gear train of this movement is a Solita gear train, and this is a automatic movement. So when you flip it over, you can see this winding ribbon. Like I said, this is a very car-inspired watch, similar to the HM5. You've got this almost like a tube that's being pressed together, and when you look at it, you actually don't look at the time down vertically, you actually look at it horizontally, similar to the immediate digitrend if you are into vintage watches. And so there are actually sapphire crystals that display the time up so that you can actually look at it horizontally, and that's all within the movement. And then you have the crown at the back of the watch, which allows you to change the time. Like I said, there is a bidirectional jumping hours and trailing minutes that is displayed through that those crystals, so that you can actually see the time. If you look at the movement outside of the watch, you can actually see that the jumping hours and minutes are flat on top of the movement, and so the crystals allow the time to be reflected up, so that you can look at it that way. So you have a lateral time display. Something that's also really cool and I like about independent watch companies is they try to add some interesting features that are a little bit non-traditional to how watches are typically made. On the HMX, you'll see these almost like plates that are on top of the discs that have the hours and minutes, and those plates actually have these little caps that almost look like oil caps. Those caps are actually functional. Those are oil filler caps. So when a watchmaker is doing some work on the watch, they can unscrew those caps and put oil that will allow, which will help the jewel bearings to function. Because if you don't know, mechanical watches have to have some oil in them to allow the movement to function smoothly. So this is a really cool feature that I think is oftentimes like I said, independent watch companies are a little bit more focused on finding these interesting ways to create these things, but I don't think that's something that's all well known by people who are interested in these types of watches. There is just going into the inspiration. Like I said, the inspiration of this watch is from cars, which is something that Max Buser was really interested in as a child, and its inspiration is from the Superleggera, which is a style of this kind of machine that was created during that time. So car inspired watch, similar to the HM5, but a really cool rendition where it's a little bit, in my opinion, it's a little bit sleeker, a little bit smaller. It would probably sit really nicely on the wrist. And so the original rendition of these, there were 20 pieces in each of the colorways. So there were 20 titanium and black HMXs. There were 20 titanium and green detailing HMX, 20 in red and 20 in blue. And so, like I said, this is a very, very similar watch to the HM5, but something that's really, really beautifully done. And you can see the absolutely beautiful finishing on the case itself, which I think is something that kind of stands out to me when I look at this watch. It's a little bit smaller. It's probably going to sit a little bit nicely on the wrist. The display looks a little relatively smaller compared to the HM5, but it's just oh so cool. And when you turn it over and you see that gold automatic rotor, I mean, there's nothing better when you look at that. And what I really liked about this is that this was, I think, the first time that their kind of catchphrase was printed on a watch, which is a creative adult is a child who survived. I think someone who's allowed to think in this way really is taking their childhood and bringing it to the forefront of the creations that they make. So a beautiful piece. So it says on the rotor, it says on the rotor, it says a creative adult is a child who survived. It says 10th anniversary on the back as well, with MB&F right in the middle. It just does such a cool watch. If I was to look at all of the different horological machines that we've covered and which one would I be interested in, I think I would probably go for the HM3 over this watch, just because I think it's something that's created watches that have come down the pipeline quite a bit. They have created some other pieces off of that have really been a staple for MB&F. But I do like the fact that this looks like it's going to fit a little bit smaller on the wrist. So it's 46 millimeters in 46 by 44 by 20 millimeters. So it's still a large watch. I think that's something that's very common with horological machines. But it's a little bit smaller. It looks like it would fit my wrist a little bit better. So this would probably be my second favorite. There have been some limited editions that have been done with this one, or collaborations that have been done with this one, which we'll cover in other videos as well. But a very, very cool watch. And I mean, I feel like everything out of MB&F I'm gonna say is cool, and that is the case. I am a true MB&F fan because I love everything that comes out of it. And so I'm waiting for the watch that I don't like, because that should be an interesting feeling for me, if that makes sense. But I think Max Buser really hit it out of the park here with this one. So yeah, that's the HMX, again celebrating the 10th anniversary of MB&F. This one actually came out after. I think this one came out earlier within the lines. I think it came out after the HM6, I want to say. Because it lined up that way. Yeah, if you haven't seen our other videos where we've covered some of the other horological machines from MB&F, be sure to check those out. I have a whole playlist where we go in depth on all of these watches and give you my thoughts on them, so be sure to check out that playlist. Also, if you did not do in the beginning video, be sure to smash that like button for the HMX. It really does help us out with these videos, but also, I mean, who wouldn't want to smash a like button for such a beautiful watch? Also, if you are new here, be sure to hit that subscribe button if you like watches, because we cover watches, so it's a perfect fit. And with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time.